Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy of September 2021. We're going to take a look initially at the energies that may surface for the collective, which we're all a part of, and then we'll take a deeper dive into your personal life path number. So let's go ahead and get started. So September is a 14-5 energy, which of course boils down to a 5 energetic cycle. But that 14 is influential, okay? So we need to keep that in mind, and I'm going to touch on the energies of the 14 as we move through the reading. But ultimately, this is a 5 energetic cycle. So we have a 5 universal year that we're currently moving through in 2021. And now that 5 energy is enhanced by a 5 universal month. So we can expect great changes that occur abruptly and without much notice. So if ever there were a time to be flexible and full of grace for self and others, it's during a 5 universal year coupled with a 5 universal month. So buckle up, baby, because it's about to get bumpy. But in a good way. Okay, so things under a 5 energy move very, very quickly because it's a fast-moving energy, right? So you may see incredible shifts and transformations within your life at this time. You may never have even seen these shifts coming, right? They just seem to come out of nowhere. This energy can sort of see people completely uprooting or changing their entire life story within the blink of an eye. This energy can often feel like a sort of greater power or higher power is sort of taking the wheel and taking over, and life is almost happening to you. Generally, where this ride takes you will lead you to the realization of, oh wow, I never would have thought to do that or to be this, but I'm so glad that I did, right? So it's like, again, it's like this higher power swoops in and hits fast forward on the story, and where you end up, you ultimately realize is a perfect place for you at that time, if that makes sense, right? So that realization may take some time to get to, but understand that when these big shifts come in, they come in to assist, not to penalize. This isn't vindictive energy, it's transformational. Both can feel incredibly challenging, right? To go through. So when someone's being vindictive, that's a challenging energy to go through. When you're going through some kind of transformation, that is also incredibly challenging at times. So however, the transformational energy will leave you in a better place from where you started. So you just need to keep that in mind. Whatever challenges you face, whatever you're going through, during this 5 energy that is transformational will leave you in a better place than where you started, okay? Even if it takes a little bit of time. So try not to fight this energy, but rather move with it and work with it the best that you can, okay? So speaking of the 14, remember I said 14 is going to have an influence in this energy because it's the influencing number to the 5. So under the influence of the 14, there's this emphasis placed on modification. So life may feel like it's happening to you at times, but you can always find ways to modify or work with the energy to make it work for you without fighting it. It's very possible that the modifications that come up for you at this time to be explored or, expanded upon are modifications to self, to relationships, to career, and to lifestyle that have needed to be adjusted for a while. So this isn't necessarily going to blindside you or be surprising, although for some people it might be, right? It might be one of those things where you're sort of stuck in your comfort zone, stuck in a relationship that's toxic, stuck in a belief system or a lifestyle that's toxic, and you don't realize that it needs to be modified or changed. So it might blindside you, right? It might come in quite swiftly and abruptly, and those modifications might be made. And again, it could feel like a whirlwind. But for the most part, these are going to be things where you kind of knew, you had some kind of a sense that they needed to go away, they needed to change, they needed to be modified, right? And chances are you've known that for a while. So this sort of double dose of 5 energy this month from the 2021 Universal 5 cycle year, and now this September 5 energy, is simply giving you the gentle shove in the direction you need to be facing, right? So that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean it's going to be without its challenges. However, the struggles and challenges that you face and overcome during this time, or at least they're initiated during this time, through these modifications, will prepare you greatly for the magnificence you're about to step into, right? So again, it's like, it can feel challenging in the moment, but you just have to keep in mind, why is this happening? Why is this coming in? What is this challenge trying to show me? Try to ask yourself as often as possible, what is this challenge trying to show me? What am I meant to learn? Right? Why is this modification coming in now? Where is it trying to take me to, and why is it trying to move me beyond the space, right? Because there's always going to be, an answer there. There's always going to be wisdom to extract from that experience, no matter how challenging. And oftentimes the more challenging, the more wisdom to pull from it. So it's the wisdom of the experience that we're meant to carry with us, not the experience itself, right? Sometimes we get stuck up on the experience where we're like, oh, that really sucked, and now I'm going to think about it and complain about it and, sort of fret about it for the next 10 years. Whereas really what the universe is trying to get us to do is to extract the wisdom from that challenging experience and move freely forward, as opposed to trying to lug that whole experience with us forward and sort of replay it, rehash it, hold a grudge, whatever the case may be. So this is going to be a really quick moving, fast energy, with a lot of transformations, right? And so through that experience, not only are we meant to move ourselves through it and adapt, but we're meant to pull the wisdom from the experience, okay? So a lot going on this month. It's a very intense month. It's a very intense year, right? So I don't really see things slowing down until we get into 2022 at least, right? So if you're looking for a breather, you're probably not going to get it right away, but that's okay, because we're all in the same boat. This is universal energy, so we're all feeling this, baby. So again, proper handling of this 14-5 energetic vibration can produce great wisdom and understanding in your experience. 5 energy can be that of again, a testing nature. It's going to test us. It's going to sort of force us to take a closer look at the challenge, the situation, the modification, and where can we extract the wisdom. It's what we choose to do with this energy that will ultimately determine our overall experience, not only now, but moving forward. And so again, we have a lot of responsibility, but with great power comes great responsibility. So a 5 energetic cycle is also a perfect time to sort of check in with yourself. This is a checkpoint. See where any imbalances lie. What's working? What isn't? Where do I need to make modifications? What do I need to invest more into? So in numerology, where 1 energy is the beginning or the initiation, and 9 energy the completion or the ending, 5 energy sits in the middle, and it's the checkpoint. It creates the space and the opportunity to make the necessary changes needed before continuing on in the journey, to make certain that the direction we're moving in is the direction we actually want to be a part of, right? You don't want to get all the way to the 9 energy and be like, oh crud, I should have switched directions way back at that 5 energy. And so a lot of times the 5 energy doesn't force our hand. We always have choice, right? But it will make things very challenging or uncomfortable to help you see what you need to see, right? And so think of this as the checkpoint. This is why we can often see so many intense and abrupt changes, occur during a 5 cycle, because some of these changes we choose, Some of those changes are created for us by a higher power, but all serving to keep us aligned with our soul's highest mission in this lifetime. So the ego craves safety, security, comfort, and the known. The soul came here for so much more, right? If something feels as though it's being uprooted now, taken away, or there's a sense of upheaval, understand that true change is messy and chaotic at times, but on the other side of that chaos sits harmony, sits balance. So we can also see this playing out on the world stage quite dramatically at this time. So much change has to happen at this time in history, and it's during a 5 cycle that it can appear to be the most chaotic and the most messy. So by dismantling that which is no longer working, that takes some level of destruction and chaos, right, before the calm can enter. So that which is being dismantled often won't go without a fight, but it'll eventually lose steam and recede, right? And that's kind of, like I said, that's what we're seeing sort of play out on the world stage. We really started to see that in the 4 cycle of 2020. And now it's really coming to accumulation during this 5 cycle of 2021. And so I suspect that in September, we're going to see even greater manifestations of that chaos, of that dismantling, of those changes. Maybe not the change happening right away, but where it's highlighted where the change needs to happen. It becomes the front and center. There's no more denying it, right? So this 5 energy will ultimately teach us that the less we resist the change, the more comfortable the process of the change will feel and become. The more we resist the modifications and try to cling to what's no longer needed or no longer working, especially when it's harmful to ourselves or others, then the messier and the more challenging the experience becomes for all involved. So 5 energy teaches us to be flexible, to be adaptable to the inevitable changes and transformations that, it brings into our lives and that we ultimately face throughout our journeys. So allow September and this 5 energy to show you where modifications are needed within your life. Allow whatever changes that sweep in, to highlight for you where something was no longer working and needed an overhaul. If these changes aren't happening directly to you, perhaps you can hold space for those who find themselves immersed within this 5 energy. Perhaps you'll need to be the one creating the change in another person's experience, right? And so regardless, move as gently as possible and take full advantage of this incredibly transformational energy. It's here to help us with swift precision. So keywords this month to keep in mind as you move through this energy, perhaps it can be your mantra, is modification and adaptability. What do I need to modify and how can I be adaptable through the modification? Because I can almost guarantee that there's going to be a lot of modification either taking place this month or highlighted where it needs to take place. And then we're going to start to see that happening. And so the more adaptable that we can be, the more open we can be to the change, the more comfortable the experience will be, and the more that we will gain from the experience. Okay? All right, let's take a closer look at the life path number. Life path number 22-4. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you got tortoise spirit. And this is so perfect for 22-4 energy because tortoise, if you think about how many, thousands and thousands and thousands of years tortoise has been around, it's obviously doing something right. And so there's really this message with tortoise that doing things slowly, doing things methodically, taking things step by step and making sure that they're done right the first time, which is very 22-4 energy, will lead to something very sustainable, will lead to something very, that will last the test of time, that will build some sort of a legacy. Again, tortoise has been around for so many years. that it knows what it's doing. And so that's sort of the energy of 22s, is building something that will last the test of time and not making excuses or feeling like they have to make justifications for their process, right? And so I think whatever is coming up for you this month that is asking you to like rush through something, or sort of you're feeling the pressure to perform in some way faster than how you would normally do, go back to your roots, like go back to what feels right for you and go with that, because that's what's going to serve you in the process. Not trying to adjust to other people's desires, but rather, doing what you know to be the right thing, to do it the way that you know to do it. And so that's going to bring you the most joy. That's going to bring you the most fulfillment. That's going to bring you the most rewards. And so if there's something where it's like you've been working for a while on it and you haven't seen the tangibles come through, you haven't seen the rewards come through, Tortoise is just popping up to remind you, slow and steady wins the race. Just keep going. Keep doing it as you're doing it. Don't rush it. Don't rush the process. Don't try to force it. Let's put it that way. Like rushing through something because you're trying to force a outcome will often lead to an outcome that you don't want, that you don't desire, right? That you're not happy with, that you're not satisfied with, that's just going to fall apart. And so just heed Tortoise's message of keep going, keep doing it the way you're doing it. Take your time, make sure that you pay attention to the details, and don't rush it, don't force it, whatever this is. Just allow it to move organically and methodically the way that it's been moving, right? That will lead you to the most fulfilling destination, okay? So I broke the month down into 4 weeks for you all. And very first week, we have this energy, this very strong energy of contemplation, slowing down, which is so funny because that's very aligned with Tortoise's energy. This time of like going into taking some time for solitude, taking some time to, be with your thoughts, be with yourself, to see things through fresh eyes, to gain a bigger perspective, maybe see through things through a different lens. But taking time out, removing yourself from the external noise, unplugging if you can unplug. Again, just taking it down a few notches, slowing the roll. Again, you can be feeling the pressure from the external world at this time that's asking you to rush, that's like almost requiring instant gratification, right? And 22 4s are not meant to create things that produce instant gratification, right? Because it's a process. It's kind of going back to ancestral ways where things move at a natural pace, where things move a little bit more slowly, where, that saying, I don't know where it comes from, but it's a very popular saying that's like nature can't be rushed, but yet nature, it always produces what it's meant to produce. That is 22/4 energy. And so I feel like at this time you could be getting a lot of pressure from external forces that are trying to push you to move faster, create more, whatever the case may be. And you're really getting the call to kind of go against that and slow down, slow it down, and make sure that you pay attention to the details. Make sure that you're taking in the bigger picture, that you're seeing all sides of things, that you're not rushing it. Okay, so I'm really getting that energy very, very strongly the first week for sure. Second week, we almost have like this new opportunity coming in for you. Maybe there's a change in direction for you. Perhaps something comes from your inner knowing of needing to take things more slowly with whatever this is. And it can be relationships, it can be work, it can be whatever. It could be your creative process, right? And I'm seeing some kind of like new opportunity or a change in direction coming in for you around that. And I feel like you're going to definitely be getting some pushback from the external, and you need to stand in your power and stand behind what you know you need to thrive, right? The external world can tell you what they need, what they want to see, but they can't tell you what you need, right? Only you know that. And so it's like this new opportunity, this new adventure is allowing you to sort of step more into your own authenticity. And people are not going to enjoy that, right? They want what they want. And you just have to stand in your power and be like, you'll get whatever this is when it's ready. And right now it's not ready. And I need to go on this path that I feel called to go on. You can either support me or see you later. That's just the way it is. And so there's really this strong energy of like you're going to be getting an invitation of sorts, whether it's energetic, whether it's an actual physical opportunity or invitation, to go on a new adventure, to explore something new, to explore a side of yourself maybe you haven't explored before, to create something new and exciting and different. And not everybody's going to be able to see things through your perspective. Not everybody's going to be able to buy into this right away. But that's okay. As long as you can hold the vision, as long as you know what your truth is, what it is that you're working towards, you don't have to be defensive about it, but you can hold your ground, right? And eventually the people that are meant to follow will follow. The ones who are meant to buy in will buy in. The ones who aren't don't matter, And so they'll find their own thing to follow. So I do see this energy of like, there's a new opportunity for you, but you may not feel entirely supported in this new venture right away. That'll come down the road. But right now, you might have to sort of stand your ground, even if it's uncomfortable to do so. But I would say follow this new adventure, follow this new opportunity, because it's going to serve you better than sort of adhering to the desires of other people who don't fully understand what it is that you're doing. You see what I'm saying? So hold the vision, move towards the vision, and understand that, you don't need that validation from the external to follow whatever this is, to do whatever this is. And so you may get that pushback, but you can handle the pushback. Third week, we have, again, it's kind of like the invitation comes in around that second week. And, if you say yes to it, you're going to see around this third week sort of the potentiality of this, the potential for the financial rewards, the potential for the stability, the potential for the growth in whatever this is. And it might start off kind of small, but it's going to lead to something that's incredibly fulfilling, incredibly stable, incredibly rewarding. And so you're kind of getting the indication of whatever this is. You're getting sort of like the sort of foreshadowing of whatever this could potentially be. And this could be very much a very solid offer coming in for you. So it could be about career, work, partnership, maybe an opportunity to buy or build something. Maybe you're selling something and you're able to sell that and you're able to reinvest that money or those resources. Perhaps you're getting funding for whatever it is that you're trying to create. But I will say whatever this is feels very much aligned with your 22-4 energy, very much aligned. So whatever this offer is, even if it seems small at first, the energy is very supportive of saying yes to this because this is very aligned with 22-4 energy, very aligned. So yeah, I feel like the second and the third week are really going to be about you seeing things from a bigger perspective, maybe changing directions a little bit, and that change in direction will be sort of pivotal. Like you can kind of look back at this month and be like, that's when what this happened that changed my life or changed the direction or changed the creative flow or whatever the case may be. But this feels very, very pivotal. Let's put it that way, which makes total sense being in a 5 universal year and a 5 universal month. So embrace this change as much as possible and try to see, again, become the observer and try to see the potential of whatever this is. Even if you're getting pushback, even if friends, family, colleagues don't support it or understand it, understand that this may be something where you need to stand up and stand out and say, this is what I need to do, so, and I'm doing it type thing. So that can require an incredible amount of courage and bravery, but you've got that. So you've got this. Then the fourth week, again, is it's a very clear storyline. Beginning of the month, you've got this contemplation. You've kind of got this feeling like, there's got to be something bigger. Something needs to change. You don't know what that is yet. But then second and third week, it comes in really strongly. Like, this is the direction you need to move into. Here's the opportunity. Here's the offer. Here's the funding, whatever. Fourth week, it's like you are making a very clear decision. You've got clarity. You've got, again, full clarity on whatever this is. You're making a very firm decision to move forward in a way that feels good for you, in a way that will help you to thrive. And this brings a tremendous amount of happiness and success for you. No doubt about it. There's just, the energy is so supportive of whatever this is. I do feel like for some of you, this could be something that you maybe proposed in the past that kind of fizzled out or wasn't fully supported at that time. And now is kind of resurfacing, and you're getting the green light, you're getting the funding, you're getting the resources to be able to make this happen. And you are like definitively standing in your power and being like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going after. This is what I want to create. And that's bringing you, like I said, just a tremendous amount of success and sort of happiness around this. It might take some time to come to fruition, right? We go back to tortoise energy. You might have to have some patience around this, but you can see how it's going to play out for the most part. You can see the vision, right? The goal. And it's about holding that vision as you continue to move forward in a very methodical, paced way, right? Just remember tortoise. That methodical energy, that practicality, that logical approach, as well as being connected to your intuition, because there's going to be a lot of following your own compass and intuition in this process. But if you can do it in that practical 22-4 energy way and methodical 22-4 energy way, it's going to take time, but it's going to be worth the effort and the investment. And so I just kind of see you just standing up and being like, yep, this is what I need to do. I know this. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. And you understand that this isn't something that's going to be instantly gratifying, that it's going to take time. And it's through that process that you'll find gratification along the way to keep you inspired and moving. So this is powerful energy. You are meant to potentially go on a different adventure this month. This could be the start of something for you, again, that is allowing you to build or create that legacy. That if you've had some kind of like idea, inspiration that's come in for you that you've sort of been mulling around, but it's outside your comfort zone, it's requiring you to take some kind of risk. You can see that it's going to take a long time to complete. So you said no to it. I feel like this month is going to come in so strongly for you. It's going to be difficult for you to keep pushing it under the rug. This wants to be explored. This wants to be expressed. This wants to be created. And so it's coming to you for a very specific reason, because you're the one that can create it. And so even if you get the pushback, even if people don't understand, just keep going. Just keep, following the nature of the tortoise, which is, like I said, obviously doing something right because it's been around for, thousands and thousands of years. So hopefully this was helpful. I do see, like I said, I see a lot of potential for financial success, stability and security, and long-term stability and security. Like whatever this is, I feel like could be setting you up for the years to come, or setting your family up, or setting your greater community up for the years to come, right? And so really powerful energy. And I feel like this is going to be a very pivotal month for a lot of you. So try to embrace the energy the best that you can and work with it. All right, 22s, I hope it's a great month for you all. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.